If you smoke, do so only in designated areas. Good housekeeping is another basic safety tip. Check out those janitor closets and other storerooms to make sure there are no flammables or combustibles improperly stored. Keep the areas clean, neat, and organized. Out of sight, out of mind is not good fire prevention. When storing oily rags, they must be stored in metal containers with a metal lid. If you store oily rags in cardboard or other containers, the oily rags can overheat and create spontaneous combustion and a fire. Keep electrical motors and other potential spark-producing equipment free from paper, cardboard, or other combustibles. Motors need ventilation to dissipate heat, and if there's poor ventilation from trash or other debris, they can overheat, causing a fire. When using electrical equipment, use it only as intended. This means if you have an electrical receptacle with only 2 plugs, you can only plug in 2 electrical appliances. The use of octopus plugs to increase electrical outlets is a fire hazard and should not be used. Never use flexible cords as fixed wiring. This means don't staple cords to floors or walls. Don't run extension cords through doors or walls or other spaces. The hazard is the extension cords can rub up against the wall, creating a worn wire, and if overheated, it can cause a fire. Electricity can overheat from a variety of methods. Perhaps the amperage of the electricity is too high for the thickness of the wire in the cord. A short in one electrical appliance could cause the wire to overheat and burn. A cooling fan in a computer could cause the motor to overheat. There are many potential hazards, so you need to inspect your work area frequently and correct any potential hazard before it becomes a reality.
Fire prevention, in my experience as a safety professional, and especially in consulting, you go around to many, many different organizations. One of the first things that you'll ask them after you notice the shop conditions or whatever, or what you see, aisles blocked, fire extinguishers inaccessible, electrical panel boxes where you have mops and combustibles and boxes stored up against panel boxes that could cause major fires. You address this to the people or to the management and have them correct it. Mark off aisles, mark off around fire extinguishers and panel boxes so that where people can see, hey, this is something that we need to protect, guard, and where we know where these items are. The next thing that you come to is within the fire prevention realm is a fire extinguisher. You can ask 3 or 4 new employees, certainly, and many older employees if they know how to operate a fire extinguisher. And you can probably guess that about 6 out of 10 are not going to know how to operate it. And this immediately calls for a class where you need to sit down and show the people how to train, how to use a fire extinguisher. And many of the fire extinguishers that you come to are discharged. And without a good service or a good inspection, monthly inspection, you'll find that these extinguishers are not taken care of properly.
Empty trash cans every day. Don't allow materials to pile up and become potential fire hazards. Learn where all the exits are located and that they aren't blocked. Many deaths have occurred over the years because exits were blocked and people couldn't get out in time.
First of all, what you have to do, say for instance you have a 3-story building. You have a 3-story building, you have employees on all 3 floors. You have to designate through the emergency operation manual a fire warden on each floor. Now his responsibility is to make sure that everybody on that floor gets out of that building during an emergency, and they go to a pre-designated area outside the building. And so the wardens can make a head count to ascertain if everybody got out of the building.
If you have a fire sprinkler system installed, they should be checked frequently to make sure they are in the open position and ready to go in case of fire. If you do have sprinklers, don't store anything within 18 to 36 inches of a sprinkler head. This space allows the sprinkler to do its job in case a fire starts. Know the telephone numbers of emergency agencies such as the fire department, and make sure that everyone knows what to do in case of an emergency. In the event of a fire, what should you do? Try to extinguish with a fire extinguisher or call the fire department? The correct answer is up to you, because the company should provide the proper procedures. However, in most companies, the correct answer is to call the fire department. Then, if the fire can be extinguished safely, then that's the thing to do. Life safety is paramount. If there is any danger, exit the building and leave the firefighting to the professionals. The primary reason to call the fire department, even in small fires, is that small fires can quickly get out of hand, and even 4 or 5 minutes can make a difference. Call the fire department because they would rather respond to a small fire than a major problem. Fire extinguishers are your first line of defense against small fires, but equally important is your knowledge of how to use them. There are different types of extinguishers for different types of fires. We already know that water is not to be used to extinguish electrical fires. Let's quickly review the different types of fire extinguishers commonly found in industry today. First, there is the ABC type extinguisher. It's labeled ABC because it extinguishes ABC type fires. The A extinguishing agent is used for combustibles such as wood, paper, or similar materials. B extinguishing agents are good for flammable liquid fires. C is for electrical fires. This tells us that an ABC type extinguisher is used to extinguish wood, paper, combustibles, flammable liquids, and for electrical fires. AD category extinguishers are used for metal fires such as magnesium and other metal fires. An ABCD extinguisher is designed to extinguish all types of fires. There are a wide variety of extinguishing systems such as foam water spray systems as shown here and dry chemical systems used in restaurants. The important thing to remember is to understand how each system works and how to activate that system and what action should be taken in case of an emergency. Prevention is really what it's all about. Be aware of what's going on in your work area, and if you see a hazard, report it so the hazard can be eliminated. Make fire prevention part of your daily work habit. And as you see on television or read in the newspapers every day, fire prevention in the home is absolutely critical. Install smoke detectors in your home and check the batteries to make sure the equipment is working properly. Smoke detectors and an active home fire prevention plan and effort can save lives. Take fire prevention seriously because it deserves all the time and effort necessary to make the program work.